I'm only interested in my inferior half. This won't take long.
The second character pass of Tekken 8 kicks off with the return of Anna Williams, who bursts onto the scene packing a bazooka, 2 brand new stances, and an explosive high-risk, high-reward style of play that should be familiar to anyone who's used the character in the past. To help break down this character, Bandai Namco esports manager Alex Julio once again stopped by to walk me through some of her best moves, punishes, combos, and explain just what's so unique and dangerous about her. So with all that said, here's a quick starter guide to Anna Williams in Tekken 8. While Anna has a ton of new tools in Tekken 8 that change up her overall kit, she does retain a lot of the same strengths and weaknesses of past games. She is a very scary character once she's able to get up in your face with tricky stance mix-ups and her unique ability to deal absolutely absurd damage even if you're blocking, thanks to a new debuff that she can afflict with her bazooka. That said, her punishment game still leaves something to be desired, with her lacking any punishment options at 11 and 12 frames, and also lacking a 15 frame while rising punish. So to start, let's go over some of her best moves. Down forward 4. A returning favorite, this is a relatively fast low with solid range that tracks to the right. On counter hit, you'll get a guaranteed stomp follow-up. Forward forward 3-2. A brand new move for Anna that incorporates her bazooka, forward forward 3-2 is a 2-hit, 15 frame mid-heat engager that is only -7 on block. It is sidesteppable on the first hit, but the second hit cannot be stepped or interrupted if the first hit is blocked. This is a really powerful move that you can expect lots of Annas to be using, especially right out of the gate. Forward forward 2 is a 17 frame fully tracking high that will knock down on hit with a guaranteed down forward 4 follow-up. Obviously, it can be ducked, but if it is blocked, it leaves you at +4, allowing you to continue your pressure with down forward 1, down forward 4, or one of her other slower lows if you've conditioned them to stand block to try and avoid getting frame trapped by down forward 1. Down back 4, a new low for Anna that can transition into her hammer chance stance. On hit, she'll transition at +8, and basically anything she does out of the stance will be uninterruptible. On counter hit, she'll get a guaranteed hammer chance 1, which is also a heat engager. If it's blocked and you transition into the stance, expect to get blown up as you cannot block in this stance. 1+2, a 16 frame mid attack that has full tracking and leaves Anna at +1 on block. It doesn't do a lot of damage, but it leaves her at +9 on hit, and on counter hit, she can either get a guaranteed forward 2-3 follow up or a heat engager with 3+4, both of which also wall splat. Anna's down forward 1 is a fairly traditional mid gut punch that is 13 frames and has a follow-up. On its own, down forward 1 is +5 on hit and -1 on block, making it a great stagger tool. Down forward 1, 2, and holding forward will transition into hammer chance at +7 on hit, allowing you to continue your pressure further. Up forward 3, a low crushing jump attack that is +0 on block and on hit gives you a +27 knockdown, allowing you to follow up with basically whatever grounded attack you want. In heat, this move is even better, with her getting a bazooka shot follow-up by pressing either 1 or 2 after the kick connects. This seems like a good time to go over one of the more unique aspects about Anna, her fragile debuff. Whenever she has a string that lets her fire her bazooka, if she presses 1, she will fire a shot that doesn't deal a ton of damage, but instead inflicts the fragile debuff. The debuff is applied regardless of whether the shot is blocked or not, and when an enemy has the debuff, they will take chip damage from every attack until they land a hit on Anna to deactivate the debuff. Not only that, but the debuff shot from the bazooka is also +4 on block, allowing her to apply the debuff and continue her pressure as well. Pressing 2 instead will fire a shot that simply just does more damage and a lot of chip damage, but doesn't apply the debuff. This shot is -1 on block instead of being +4. Now let's stay in heat for a second and also go over 1-2, 1-2 while in heat. This combo, while fairly underwhelming outside of heat, does pretty gnarly chip damage while in heat and if the fragile buff is also applied. On block, it leaves her at +3 with a bunch of distance between her and her opponent. Up forward 2. This is mainly used for combo extension, but it can also be used in neutral as a means to transition into hammer chance and threaten with a mix-up, since on hit you're able to transition into the stance at +12. It's safe on block, and thankfully will only transition into stance if it hits. On counter hit, it launches for a full combo, and you're able to cancel the stance transition, of course, by holding down back. Back 4. This is yet another fully tracking homing attack. On hit, you're left at plus 11 with a transition into hammer stance, and on block, it's safe at minus 9. Once again, you only transition into the stance if the move hits. And finally, Sidestep 2. This is a relatively low risk, low attack that does have 20 frames of startup, but only leaves Ana at minus 12 if blocked. On hit, she's plus 0, and on counter hit, she's plus 14, but the opponent can still block despite the frame disadvantage, so no guaranteed follow-ups on this one. Now let's go over Ana's punishers really quick. At 10 frames, Ana has 2 options. First up is 2-3. This does 24 damage and puts her into Chaos Judgment stance at plus 8. From there, she can threaten with a mix-up between her uninterruptible high, a power crush, a slower mid that's plus 2 on block, and a high-risk low combo that is launch punishable. Just be sure that what you're punishing is actually punishable, because if 2-3 is blocked, you're gonna go for a ride, as once again, you cannot block in the stance. Alternatively, if you just want to keep things simple and safe, you could just do 1-2-1, which is a natural 3-hit combo, meaning that all 3 hits will connect if the first one lands, and it's only minus 4 on block. As mentioned at the top, Ana doesn't have anything for her 11 and 12 frame punishes, but for 13 frames, she has her down forward 1-2. We already covered this move earlier, but it leads into hammer chance at plus 7 on hit, giving you an opportunity to continue your pressure. Alternatively, you could also use back 2-2, which does 10 points more damage compared to down forward 1-2, but doesn't give you the stance transition. For 14 frame punishes, Ana's got a heat engager on 3+4, which is probably your best bet. She can also do 3-2, which forces both you and your opponent to recover crouching, with you at a +4 advantage. And if you're close to a wall, she can instead use forward 2-3, which will wall stun. Your best bet for Ana's 15 frame punisher is predictably her down forward 2, which is a standard launcher. She has other options like down back 2 to apply the debuff, but chances are you're going to want the damage of a full combo launcher. At 16 frames, you can use quarter circle forward 2-1 to launch punishable moves like Paul's Death Fist or something along those lines that pushes you really far back. And finally, your Omega Punisher for when you block a Hell Sweep or something is up forward 4. As for while standing punishes, she's got, for 11 frames, either while standing 3 or while standing 4. Use while standing 4 for just a simple punish that leaves you at +5, and use while standing 3 if you prefer to transition to Chaos Judgment stance at +8. While standing 1-2 will be her 13 frame while standing punish, which will put you into your bazooka stance and force them to eat either a debuff or a bunch of chip damage depending on which one you decide to use. And for her 14 frame while standing punish, it's the same as her standing 14 frame punish, 3+4, which is once again a heat engager. And finally, in lieu of a 15 frame punish, she has a 16 frame punish on while standing 2, which is your traditional launching while standing attack. And finally, let's just go over some quick example combo routes using her various combo starters. And that's our starter guide covering Ana Williams in Tekken 8. Thanks again to Alex for taking the time to walk me through the character, and to you for checking the video out. And for more Tekken 8, keep it here on IGN.